ready. Bombs away. Here we are.
Here we are.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Susan and Taylor here. I've got Susan like on her little tippy toes. So
Is that better?
No, that's great, but then your tiptoes are gonna get, your calves are gonna get sore.
That'll be good. Good exercise.
I should have put the camera down lower. Say hello as you guys are hopping on today, and let us know you're watching. What's up with you? What's going on? Any blizzards happening? I guess the kind of description of today's video that I left you guys was that Susan would be creating beautiful indoor blizzards today.
Much more acceptable.
Yes. It is like going to be 55 out today out here, so we are happy about that, and no actual blizzards happening, but if any blizzards are happening around you, I'm sorry, but maybe you love them. Some people love them.
Some people do. Some people are waiting on the snow. I'm not.
Yeah, I'm okay without a white Christmas, quite honestly.
Totally fine.
Or a white January or February or any of the months.
Say something. I've got no one.
Anybody watching, let us know that you're actually seeing us in the right place. There is a lag, so here we go. We're starting to get people's comments. I know there's a lag from when we press go and when we start actually seeing comments. So, ooh, Martha's baking cookies today. Hello, Sherry, watching while you work. Very nice of you to tune in and check us out today. So, like I mentioned, Susan's going to be sharing lots of tips today using one of our new foilet panels. So it's called Beautiful Blizzards, hence the Creating Indoor Blizzards with Susan. And Sally says no blizzard in Michigan.
Good.
Debbie's here. Hi, Christine. Who else do we have? We have Deb and Debbie and Eva. Awesome. Well, glad you guys are making time for us here in December. I know it's a busy time for everybody. I've been busy lately. Have you gotten gifts wrapped?
Yes, I have 4 under the tree. What about
4?
you?
Well,
4.
Surprisingly, I think I beat you. I have more than 4, but half of them were wrapped by my daughter. So Maddie went out and bought her gifts for everybody, and she wrapped them right away and got them under the tree. So
that's adorable.
We have about 8 gifts under the tree.
Yay.
We still have time, right? Anybody have a countdown? What's the date today? We have like 15 days till Christmas. Is it the 10th or is it the 9th today?
I think we're like 17, don't we? Today's the 9th. It's my girl's birthday, so do the math really fast.
Well, 10th would be to the 25th would be 15 days. So
okay.
16 days.
16 days.
Yeah. We're going to get there one way or another. It always happens.
It happens.
Deb is cleaning and sorting in her craft room. Hi, Charlie. And Susan has a Maddie, too. That's fun. My Maddie is M-A-D-I. It's always hard determining how to spell your kid's nickname. She's a Madeline, so I don't know if your Maddie is a Madeline or a Madison or, yeah. All right, well, I'm going to turn it over to Susan. I'm going to get out of here and let her share all of her cool tips and tricks with you guys. So we'll get you moved down so that you can see the screen. And I'm going to move your camera over so you can see comments a little bit better.
Perfect, thank you.
And Charlie's here to help.
Thank you, Charlie. I always forget where you go with that, so I put landmines in Taylor's way when she goes to move it's all right. When she goes to move the camera, so that's all good.
I'll get them out for you.
Yay. Yeah, I had made this card for display at our Stamp Joy, and a lot of people liked it, and it's very simple. But so if you're making a bunch of like after holiday cards, or if you're just last minute making some holiday cards, need to make some thank you cards after the holidays, these panels are quite a time saver because one, the sugar cube obviously is already cut to 4 by 5 1/4 for you, and then it's toner printed, and with these there's 3 different snowflake designs, and there's a total of 12 in the package, and I have all 3 designs out in front of me in different foils. I know it's hard to catch in the light. This one's the shattered. This one I made with it's called Silver Shattered. And I figured that one went pretty well with that chunkier design of the snowflakes, so I did that. This one, I really was happy with how it turned out. I went with the non-traditional colors. I went with a pink, and I did gold, and really think that one might be my favorite. I really like how it turned out. So I did gold for that one. Oh, someone said they got their Christmas cards in the mail. Maybe everyone will get a second one. That's awesome. That's very ambitious of you. That's awesome. And then this one, I tried a blue, and I did that one with the deep blue of the foil. And then I used Sprinkles ink and cardstock for that one, because that Sprinkles has a little more of a blue tone. But I thought it could be fun if we tried one with purple. So first thing I'm going to do is I'll move this and I'll turn my mink on and set it aside while it's warming up, because I wanted to show you. Here at TE we have the 12-inch mink. So back here there's a flip to flip it on. I'll turn it on. And then we turn ours up to 3 or 4 depending. I'm going to try 4. I had it already warmed up, so it should go to green pretty quickly. And while that's warming up, I'm going to move it so that I can show you. I'm going to cut some foil. Taylor just brought, this is the old design, but this is the new design she's carrying now. She brought in the Crafters Essentials magnetic cutting mat, and I just think this thing is adorable. So this ruler has a magnet on the back so that it magnets down to this cutting mat. I think it's really cute. Hers is the older style, so it's a little more on the teal. I call this a little more poblano pepper if we're talking TE colors. But I'm going to use that to cut my foil. I find just a really large bladed scissors works really well too for this too. I think purple and silver sound like they would go really well together, so I'm going to do that. Turn this. Not that that really matters. I'm going to cut our foil this way. Let's get, because I'm not familiar with this one, I'm going to kind of get an eyeball of where 4 inches is. Lay my ruler down over here. I'm sure once I get to know this mat a little bit better, I will have a better idea of where to lay this to get 4 inches. But I thought it was really cute. Let's see. Let's look at our different designs. So these are all printed with toner ink so that it works with the foilet sheets. I really kind of want to do this one again. It's more of an intricate design, and with a solid color of foil, I think that works really well. This more thicker lines I think works well with some of the shattered foils. Same way with this one, more intricate. So I'm going to try this one. I really think that one's really pretty. I love the foilet sheets. What brought me to stamping originally was embossing. So it doesn't surprise me at all that foiling is something that I really, really like, just because it gives that shine without all the work. So I just want to make sure I had the right size. I laid my panel on there. And then I'm just going to take an X-Acto knife and cut it. I like that this holds my foil down so that I can measure it, line it up, and again, whatever X-Acto knife you have. I'm not really sure where Taylor got this one. It's been around here for a while, but this is her new cutting mat and magnetic ruler. Roll mine back up. I need to find a good way to store these. Kind of gotten to the point where I just put them back in the tubes. I like knowing the name, so I seem to always put them back. So we'll grab that, put this aside. My mink is warmed up. And again, just to show you the sandwich, this is just parchment paper from the kitchen, and just a shim, and it depends on your machine whether you need it or not. I'll take a drink. I've got a tickle in my throat. So I choose, I think it makes it a little more stable too for me to hold on to. Put a shim in there, and then I'm going to put my cardstock or my foilet panel. I will put my foil with the dull side to the paper, shiny side up, and then close my parchment paper shut. We'll bring my mink in. I just love the magic of how easy this is. someone was talking about the super lightweight is kind of tricky with using scissors. It is. I find if I have scissors with a really long blade on them, I think Taylor sells the Tim Holtz haberdashery or whatever. I don't know the correct name of those scissors. They are wonderful for that. They really cut the foil really well without, I don't know, like making it crinkle. But yeah, scissors are a little bit harder, but I really liked this. This was nice to hold it in place. I could lay my panel down on it. Run that through. I'm going to go ahead and turn my machine off. I have a frog in my throat, Taylor.
Do you need some water?
I do have water. I tried grabbing a piece of gum. Excuse me. I have water.
Do you need a stand-in? Are you going to be okay?
I'm going to make it, I think. Trying all the tricks, you know. To let that cool a little bit. Peel that back. Isn't that beautiful? I just love how easy that is. It's so effortless, and it comes out perfect about every single time. So, this is a staple in my craft room. I love these. I use them often. I think they can make a simple card look beautiful without a lot of extra work. The masking stencils is the rectangles. That's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use the larger one. We're going to glue that to the back here. What did I do with mine? Oh, here they are. So this is the larger one, and it does have the etching lines in it. I'm going to make sure they are up. So they are up looking at me. And I did already pull off tape. So I'll line that up with those etching lines. And then I like to tape it at the back, and the reason why I do that is because if my tape would happen to pull off some of my cardstock, it's just going to be on the back then that way. I really like that. I don't quite have that one lined up quite right, so I'm going to move it. I must move the whole thing. Let me try again. Kind of hard to see, but you can just barely see through there. We'll tape that down. And then I thought it would be fun to try it with a purple tone. So I grabbed the lavender glaze and my brush. We'll do some blending over the top. I do like to do my foiling first, so then I can come in and do this. Taylor asked me earlier if I pixie spray the back of this. I kind of save my pixie spray for more detailed stencils, so I don't always use them with my rectangle mask. I love my pixie spray for more detailed masks, but for something like this, I don't. I just use my purple tape. And then I know there's been some discussion about purple tape. That was something that was around, and the company quit making it. I think they had some trouble with some parts of their production, but hopefully they'll come back with something else for us. There's a lot of other things out there on the market. Posted tape. Taylor sells some other masking tape. We just have some left over around here that we use around the office. But I do hold my scraps and keep all my little extras. And when I ink blend, I do, if you notice, I always kind of brush off once just to get the initial concentration of ink off. So I'm going to peek. So can you see? Peek under there a little bit. I really like the tone. I like the soft. I think it's really pretty. So that is the lavender glaze. Set this aside. I will need to wash that when I'm all done. Isn't that pretty? I think that just takes that whole panel up one level just with just a little bit of ink blending, a little bit of extra. So, and then this week, Taylor came out with, besides the new quads that were beautiful, this sentiment set called Winter Blessings, and then the die set to match. And I went ahead and I set them all up in my Misty, and I'll show you that here in a second, just to add the sentiment. So this one was made earlier, but these two are both the sentiment from that set. But I'll show you. I'm going to stamp and emboss those. I think obviously I'm going to go with silver. Something I've been doing lately is if I'm going to do one sentiment, I just go ahead and I throw a few on my Misty. Just because I'm going through the trouble of embossing and making them, I might as well just do a few of them, and then I will have some extras for the next project. So I'm going to put this down in the corner with some sugar cube cardstock, and of course when we emboss we always use some sort of static embossing buddy of some sort. And then I'm going to use Versamark. And I will stamp it twice probably, just because I can. Not because it actually needs it, but just for good measure. It probably is just fine with one stamping. The Misty spoils me, makes it so that I can do it twice. Nope, that pulled it all up for me. That's all right. And we'll get the silver embossing powder. Taylor just brought into the studio, or into the store, the Sizzix funnel tray. So I thought I would try that out for you too. We have the silver and silver embossing powder, and we'll sprinkle that over the top. Like Taylor said, it's supposed to be like 50 today. It started out kind of cold and kind of icy at my house this morning, but it's supposed to turn out to be a beautiful day. Getting rid of some of the few extras. And this is a anti-static tray, so I will unscrew the end of it and we can funnel that right back into our jar. Makes clean up easy. I like that I don't have the powder running everywhere on my desk. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, Taylor.
You like it?
I like it. She's still in here blending.
Am I being too noisy? Can
No.
you hear my blending?
I do need my,
Okay.
I do need this though. I need to emboss. I have a straight piece here, but I'm not going to worry about that because it'll get cut off with the dies. When I emboss, I don't stay, oh, Scotch, what's that?
If you haven't answered that one yet.
What did Robin ask? Does any of the foiling flake off when you ink blend after foiling? Honestly, I have noticed that every once in a while I'll see some foil flakes on my ink pad, but I'm wondering if that's not actually where the toner was. Like if there was a little piece that attached to the toner and didn't have any, I don't know how to say that. just like on the side. I don't think it's coming off of where the toner was supposed to be. I think it's little pieces that may have been attached like around the outside of where the toner was that didn't quite pull away properly, if that makes any sense. No, I don't find that the foil is pulled away by my blending, but every once in a while I will look down at my ink pad and I will see like little sparkly flakes, and I wonder if I don't see it at all today. I was trying to look at my lavender glaze. Sometimes I will see little gold sparkly flakes, but I'm wondering if it's where the foil might have caught, like it caught on the toner part, but then had a little piece that was extra that didn't actually have toner to attach to, and then when you're blending, that actually blends off. I never find it to be very significant at all. Hope that answers your question. But no, I've not noticed that that is an issue. So, and then the matte coordinating dyes, again, same thing. I like to, if I'm doing one sentiment, I might as well do a few, and I'll line them up. I didn't put these close enough to really tape them all together. Let's see, any more new comments? Or maybe it will. What is...
Oh, Charlie said that we upgraded from our Chick-fil-A container of embossing powder and our scratch piece of paper. So now we have the funnel.
Oh, we are fancy, you know.
And it was an Olive Garden container, not
It really was.
Chick-fil-A. Yeah, their soups come in those big, containers, and you don't want to throw them away.
They're nice containers. Yeah. And as I put these together here, it is kind of, now I've got to line them up, and if I was just needing one sentiment, it might save me, I might not need to spend this time, I guess, but I don't know. My future self, I always say, will thank me for doing a few extra sentiments while I'm at it today. Or if you're making a whole set for someone, it's not that much extra work to just go ahead and stamp them, especially when you're embossing, get the embossing done. It's just this little extra moment that it takes me to line up my dies. And I will go ahead and tape them down with purple tape or removable tape, whatever your favorite is. Sometimes some old washi tape works too. Let me grab my die cut machine. Run that through. Let's see what her... Deb says I have a problem with saving carry-out containers. I save them because every once in a while if I make cookies or something, and then I want something to take over to, like, if I want to share cookies with like the neighbors or something, then I use those. I only save a reasonable amount though. A couple just so you have something on hand. Some of those takeout containers are really nice. So look at that, see? That little bit of extra effort, my future self, like I said, will thank me for that. Going ahead and taking care of that. And then I can kind of, based on, these are what I did with other ones, is like this, is I took some of Tailored Expressions in vellum and used the Stitch Stacks dies, and I actually cut 2 vellums just because I thought it kind of made it stand out a little bit more, and I'll show you the difference here in a second. Or these, I use the flag stacks, and this is a stitched one too, and then on that one also, just to add something for it to land. And also I also popped the sentiment up. So let me show you the reason why I use 2 layers. I'll show you the difference. So 1 layer of vellum, it makes it stand out, but a 2nd layer of vellum, just is that much more, I don't know, it gives it that much more definition from the background. So what I did was I went ahead and used my Nuvo glue, which I've told you before, this is my favorite glue. I take the little rhinestone off the top so it can stand on its head. That's probably makes it not quite as pretty, but it is really my favorite glue. I was always very anti-liquid glue until I found this stuff. And now we're friends, except for this moment when it won't work. Well, maybe never mind. Can I have a pin, Taylor? Oh, she left me. Hold on. What does Taylor always say? Pause, please. Sorry, I'm back. I'm going to try. I don't know why. I've never had it clog before. I must not put the lid on right away. Put a little bit of the Nuvo glue on the back of there. I love this stuff. I love that if it does kind of come out the sides, it dries and dries clear. It doesn't dry sticky. So we'll place that on there. And that's one layer of vellum. And again, I'm only going to put glue behind where that sentiment is. I don't know about you guys, but I am done with my Christmas cards. I do need to make a few more tags. Taylor was talking about all her presents under the tree. We just don't have a ton of presents to buy. I'm going to go ahead and set something heavy on that. Let's see. I'll grab this. And a few ink pads, just to let that dry for a sec. Sorry, I seriously have a little tickle in my throat for some reason. Worst timing, right? You make a goodbye winter stamp. I'm with you. I do like the cold. I just don't like the icy roads. Can I have winter without the icy roads? I'm going to pop this up and I'm going to use some of Taylor's foam squares. And I just take them and I usually just use the scissors and cut them right off the roll that way. And I will again position them behind the sentiment just so you can't see it. Just to pop that sentiment up a little bit. I really like how these cards turn out. They'd be really cute as a set, like if you were still looking for something. I know we're getting down to crunch time with being a couple of weeks away from Christmas, but if you needed something last minute, this really comes together fast. If you wanted to make someone a gift card set or just have some extra thank yous for after Christmas, I'll go ahead and put some adhesive on the back of here. And I already cut and scored some lavender glaze cardstock for us. Ooh, I think that's so pretty in the silver. Wow. I really like how that turned out. Isn't that pretty? I like the silver. I love that's still funny, the goodbye winter. And then these, I will have them for backups whenever I get to another card. I wanted to share with you one other thing Taylor came out with. I've been asking her for a while now to come out with some black glossy cardstock. Let me grab it. I just think it's beautiful for cutting like word sentiments, any of our scripts in black glossy. It's so pretty. We've used it a couple of times in the studio. I think she did a live where she showed it before she had the product in, but isn't that pretty? So that you can have your script sentiments without putting clear gloss over the top. I think it's so pretty. I'm totally excited, but I've asked her for a couple of years for this product, so I'm kind of excited. So that's out too. Let's see, what else?
Thank you. Deb's beautiful cards. Thank you. Maybe it could be free gift for February. That's funny. I think that's everything. That's what I was going to show you today. I hope you liked it. I hope you think about adding this to your stash if you don't already have it. I love the rectangles. I use them all the time. And they work especially well with these foilet panels. So hope you try it. Hope you make some cards and some thank you cards for after Christmas. And I hope you have a good rest of your week. Bye.